Well, Darius, the cigar smoke, it's only just starting to clear now behind me as some of the Brewers players continue to celebrate here at American Family Field. The champagne, obviously, that's still everywhere. It was quite a celebration inside the Brewers locker room or clubhouse. Really, everyone just going crazy as they celebrate their fourth division title in the last 7 years, but a very different feeling division title because so much of this team is new. 13 players on their first opening days, plenty of them making major league debuts. This was not a team that was expected to be here. They were not supposed to win the NL Central. When I talked to superstar and all-star closer Devin Williams just a few minutes ago, he told me that's what makes this all the more sweeter, is knowing all the doubters who are out there, especially for him, as he started the season injured, missed the first couple of months, and then he turns out to be the winning pitcher for this game. I also caught up with former MVP Christian Yelich as he celebrates another division title.
Oh, they're always special, you celebrate every single time you.
One thing that really stood out to me in the locker room, and it kind of does every year, is just how important Bob Uecker is to this team. The 90-year-old broadcaster who's been with the team for more than 50 years. Of course, they all mobbed him. They all celebrated him. Pat Murphy singled him out in front of the team, said this is a guy who epitomizes what it is to be a champion. And I got to see a pretty cool moment. Freddie Peralta and Willie Adames both walked over to him and told him how much that they loved him after all their years with him in the Brewers clubhouse. Kevin Holden also caught up with one of those two guys who was talking to Uecker, Willie Adames. I'll send it over to Kevin.
And our own Scott Grodsky is joining us now in the studio with the highlights from that game. Exciting finish, Scott.
Incredible finish, incredible highlights. Just what a game and what a memory for Brewers fans that they will never forget. Now, there have been 10 finished wildcard series since MLB expanded the playoffs. The Game 1 winner won all 10 of them. So for a Brewers team that lives by the word undaunted, it's a truly daunting task to get back in this series. Of course, you can't win two straight if you don't win the first, and the rookie, Jackson Chourio, helps the cause with an early homer, but the Mets go in front and held the lead most of the game until Chourio comes back with a vengeance. This man is just 20 years old, and by the way, Brewers fans, he's under contract for almost a decade. Doing things we have never seen before, he ties it, and a couple of batters later, Garrett Mitchell gives Milwaukee the lead. A win for the ages and the very definition of undaunted as the Brewers stay alive, forcing a winner-take-all Game 3. Let's go live to Darius Joshua now at American Family Field.
Scott, what's the energy like inside of AmFam right now?
Well, Bill, about 20 hours after that Garrett Mitchell home run, you can still feel the electricity here on the field at American Family Field. The Brewers finished their batting practice about 30-40 minutes ago. The Mets are taking their cracks at it right now. Everyone just getting ready for this winner-take-all Game 3. It was electric last night, and that energy has carried over for the crew and their fans after the unforgettable win that wasn't just Mitchell, but also Jackson Chourio hitting his second home run in the 8th inning. They're trying to ride that momentum into tonight's game. Now, we talked to Rhys Hoskins a couple of days ago. He reached a World Series with the Phillies just 2 years ago and says that he can still pinpoint the inning early on in their run that propelled them all the way forward. Now, it's too early to know if last night's 8th inning will be that for the Brewers, but I did ask Sal Frelick and Joey Ortiz what a win like last night can do for this team.
And I think it's just really cool seeing everyone go up to the plate confident.
You're watching the Mets take batting practice right now. They are getting ready to take on Tobias Myers, who will be starting for the Brewers in the middle of a phenomenal season, pretty much out of nowhere. He wasn't just a career minor league pitcher before coming to Milwaukee. He was a bad minor league pitcher before coming to Milwaukee. He was 1-15 with an ERA hovering right around 8 just 2 years ago when he was cut by 3 different squads. Coming up at 5, we'll find out how he turned his career around from that pitcher 2 years ago to the guy who the Brewers want on the mound when it matters most in Game 3, an elimination game against the Mets. Live at American Family Field, Scott Grodsky, CBS 58 Sports.
CBS 58 Scott Grodsky spoke to the team following another disappointing end to the season. Scott.
Darius, it is a surreal scene here at American Family Field. As you can see behind me, the Mets are still finishing up their celebration from advancing to the next round. You can still sort of smell the cigar smoke in the air at American Family Field, but just 20 feet the other direction inside the Brewers clubhouse, it is heartbreak and devastation. We got into the clubhouse about 30-40 minutes after the game was over, and you'll see in the video, the team was mostly already still in their full uniforms. They had yet to really move from their lockers after the shock of the game happened. the team very emotional, a lot of them going around hugging each other, saying their goodbyes, because it's not just a season that ends, it's their time together, at least for now. No two teams are the same any given year. When we talked to a couple of the players in there, Jake Bowers, who, as Darius said, had that crucial home run earlier in the game, said it was a special group since day one with just how close-knit this team is. He is one of 3 players I talked to in the matter of 20 minutes who all said some version of right now is when you tell the guys in the lockers next to you and across from you how much you love them.
A lot of disappointment, you know. We worked all year to get to this point.
Garrett Mitchell talked about how this team eats all their meals together. They do everything together. A lot of them are young guys. Most of those players will be back next year. Of course, again, no two teams are exactly the same. The biggest change will very likely be Will Adames, who goes into unrestricted free agency. We are hoping to hear from him in the clubhouse soon, and if we do, you will hear from him coming up tonight on the CBS 58 News at 10 after what is very likely his last game in a Brewers uniform. Just a devastating, heartbreaking scene inside the clubhouse for the Brewers as their season ends with a heartbreaking loss to the Mets. Darius?